I was not asked to be a speaker today. I was asked to sing. But since I have your attention, I will commandeer a bit of time to share some thoughts about my dad. By the time I arrived at my parents' house in 1976, I was old news. Kids were old news. There were 4 older siblings above me that had the pleasure of wearing down my parents and making for me a soft place to land. When I've talked to my older siblings and compared stories about my dad, it often feels like we're talking about 2 different people. Now, being a father, I understand it's so normal and natural to make all the parenting mistakes with the older kids. I'm sorry, older kids who are there listening to this. The dad that I knew was hardworking, loved to laugh, so meticulous and organized, except for when it came to his tools. He always blamed us for losing those, and 70% of the time he was probably right. Speaking of tools, I took for granted growing up that he could build anything and build it well. From him I learned to not fear turning a wrench to fix my own car, or building custom furniture, or anything that involved creativity. When I started writing music with my 2 best friends in high school, my parents were our biggest fans. My dad came to me one afternoon with a few pages of lyrics and said that I could have them if I wanted to put music to them. I remember reading them, and they were about finding peace and happiness in the mountains and spending time with loved ones. I didn't see anything about falling in love and falling head over heels for girls that I barely knew. So frankly, I didn't know what to do with the lyrics. What I wouldn't give to have them now, though. I wanted to share that because, in a way, he was fearless. He got an idea, pursued it, and followed through. I got that from him, and I don't think twice about it. I still have the notion that I can do anything I can put my mind to. Sometimes I lament that I have too many hobbies and interests. It was a very rare thing for me to share an idea I had learned with my dad and have him not know something about it. Many years ago, it was Christmas time, and I walked into the living room and found my dad reading. A very normal scenario. He always had a book with him. I asked him what he was reading. He said it was his favorite book and a book he read every year at Christmas time. He started telling me the plot of the story and got very choked up and couldn't quite get through telling me. After a pause, he composed himself and continued with the story. I was hooked. I later bought the book from a bookstore. Remember those? And loved every bit of it. It is now one of my favorite books, and I also now read it every winter. The story is Silas Marner by George Eliot. It's a sweet story of a man who loved his gold more than anything and who lived as a miser, working tirelessly to accumulate more gold. After it was stolen, he was inconsolable until a little orphan toddler wandered into his house. He learned to love and treasure her more than all the gold in the world. Such a wonderful lesson. I learned a lot about my dad that day. He didn't easily show affection, nor do so many males from his generation. But in telling me this story and choking up, he revealed what was dear to his heart, and I got that message. Seeing my dad deteriorate these last couple of years has been so hard. It had such a control over him. When I was home last month, it broke my heart to see him struggling to get by. He could follow a joke being told and laugh. He could follow a story, and I could see from his expression that he was there. But when he tried to respond, it was jumbled, and he knew it. For a man with the largest vocabulary I know, to be reduced to the speech capacity of a child must have been inextricably difficult. I asked him why he never swore. It took him several tries to get it out, but the gist of what he said was that why use a simple swear word when there are so many other adjectives? I told him that was a damn good reason, and we both had a good hearty laugh. On returning back to China, I had to do a 28-day quarantine. While in quarantine, my dad went to sleep for the last time. I got a call from home that he was barely responsive. but it was evident from his expressions that he was still there. I was able to FaceTime him a couple of times, once with my wife, Rosie, whom he's never met in person. He was smiling, but there were no words from him. After hanging up, words for a song in tribute to my dad came flooding in, and so did the tears. I really wanted to sing it to him before it was too late. I finished it, called him on FaceTime, and sang it to him. He was smiling as I sang. Just like when he told me about Silas Marner and he couldn't get through the story, I could not get through the song. I kept weeping and choking up. While singing, or trying to sing, I kept thinking, now I'm the old man that can't get through the story without tears. Like father, like son. I did finally get through. I told him I loved him and said my goodbyes. I'd like to share that song with you now. Just a boy, I dreamed I could get away, to set the clouds beneath my wings and feel the joy that flying brings. When I was 25, I found someone to teach me to fly. When in time I could do my best, he sent me out on a solo test. He said, it's time to say goodbye. You gotta take to the skies one more time. Don't be scared to go alone. I'll set a light to guide you home. When I was 45, with a family and a wife, work would send me here and there, sometimes more than I could bear. When duty called again, I'd pack my bags and then I'd gather up the family clothes, 'cause they're the ones that mean the most. I'd say, it's time to say goodbye. I'm gonna take to the skies one more time. I'm not scared to go alone, but set a light to guide me home. I need to leave this hectic place. I'll surrender and go with grace. I don't recall all the things that I've said. I have this battle in my head. It's time